We live in a world obsessed with outcomes, success, fame, the big win, the next milestone, the final result. And for a while, that chase might even feel exciting. You tell yourself, once I get there, I'll be happy. Once I reach the goal, I'll rest. I'll feel enough. But here's the truth no one tells you. You don't feel peace when you arrive. You feel peace when you stop running from the moment you're in. I used to think that my worth was measured by my results. The promotions, the recognition, the applause. But with every goal I checked off, I felt something strange. Not joy, not pride, but emptiness. And then one day it hit me. I was climbing ladders I didn't even want to be on, rushing through life as if the joy only lives at the top. I had fallen in love with winning, but I had lost love for the process. And that's when everything began to change. I started waking up without rushing. I learned to make coffee like it was a sacred ritual, not a chore. I started writing not to publish, but because it calmed my soul. I began to create, move, breathe, not for applause, but for presence. Let me ask you something. Have you ever worked so hard for something, and when you finally got it, you still felt like something was missing? That's because you skipped the sacred part, the process, the becoming. We don't grow at the destination. We grow on the journey. We grow in the try, the fall, the stand back up, in the small efforts that no one claps for. And here's what's even more powerful. When you fall in love with the process, you can't lose. Because even when things don't go right, you still gain presence, patience, and progress. Think about the caterpillar. It doesn't become a butterfly overnight. There's a quiet, painful transformation inside the cocoon. Unseen, uncelebrated, but sacred. What if your life is like that? Not meant to be rushed, but unraveled. Not judged by trophies, but by how deeply you lived each moment? If you're exhausted from chasing, if your soul feels burnt out, try this. Wake up tomorrow and just fall in love with showing up. For the walk, for the writing, for the learning, for the joy of the task itself. Detach from the finish line. Because the finish line keeps moving, but the moment you're in, that's where your power is. Here's what I know. Slow, mindful, intentional progress may not be loud, but it changes everything. And it stays with you. Fall in love with the process, not for success, but for your peace. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're becoming, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. And that is more than enough.